2025 was my very first year selling physical products on Etsy. And I honestly joined on a whim and decided to see if Etsy could help me grow my business and see if it would be a good fit for my products. And I was very pleasantly surprised. Before we get into those numbers, if you're new here, I am Holly and I am running a six-figure seasonal business right now. I previously had two seven-figure businesses from the clothing industry and home decor industry and sold those and am now focused on my seasonal business and teaching you how to grow a business online. So as I mentioned, I started Etsy on a whim. I have never been on Etsy with any of my businesses, clothing, with my home decor business, and not with my seasonal business for the last 2 years. And I honestly just decided to go on Etsy and see how my business did on there. And honestly, I've been using Everbee on Etsy, and I was really curious also if the numbers I was seeing on other people's sales were really accurate. And so I hooked it up to my own shop just to double check everything. And it is amazing how accurate Everbee is. So that was another curiosity factor for me, just to see how it would work with my shop. So I did what I feel like is very well on Etsy. Let's jump over to Etsy and I'll go through my numbers there. And as of right now, I'm not sharing my shop name or my products online, but that may change in the future. But for right now, I'm keeping all of that private and just kind of sharing my numbers and my experiences. And here it is, $10,061.86 on Etsy. And I started my shop on September 22nd. So I just did sales from September 22nd through December 31st because that is basically my season. And I wanted you to see kind of my main season. So I actually missed out probably on some sales the beginning part of September because I didn't get my shop set up. Like I said, it was kind of a whim, but $10,000 in 3 months, I was really happy with that. And a 3.6% conversion rate, I typed that into my good friend ChatGPT, and it said that anything above a 3% conversion rate is figured to be strong, that an average conversion rate on Etsy is 1 to 3%. So I am brand new to Etsy. I really do not know much about this platform at all. And I didn't really watch any videos or try to learn anything. I just really hooked up my Shopify store and linked it to my Etsy shop. One surprise that I did have that's worth mentioning is there is a pretty big fee attached to linking your Etsy shop to your Shopify store. And I believe that was like $29.99 a month, if I'm not wrong. And I didn't even realize that that was a charge. So I did unlink my two stores. I sell on Etsy, Shopify, and Faire. And I don't necessarily love having them all linked. It is a little bit more work because I'm having to enter in manual numbers for inventory, but this is one of the hiccups I've talked about when running a seasonal business is that I am paying fees all year round and I'm only bringing in income for a few months of the year. So it really hurts when I'm paying $30 a month and not bringing in money. You know, I'm paying that $30 in January, February, March, all the months and not bringing in any money. So I try to keep my platforms that I use that I'm paying monthly fees for really slim and really tight right now, since this is just a seasonal business. And as I grow this business in 2027, that will probably change and maybe I'll link things back up. But for right now, I'm just trying to keep fees as minimal as possible and keep more money in my pocket from this business. But yeah, I was incredibly happy with this revenue, and we can go take a look at my Etsy ads that I ran because I did run some Etsy ads, and I just started out with $5 a day. I started out really low, and I did not really know a ton about Etsy ads or really anything at all. So let's take a look at those numbers. All right, so I put this back in from September 22nd, the day my store went live, to December 31st. And I spent $1,508.87 on ads. I started out with $5 a day, and as I saw them growing, I was putting more towards the campaign. When I started out, I was having all of my products be put into the ads because I didn't research, honestly, and I just wasn't sure how it worked. But as I learned and as I kind of saw what was happening, I did shut off some of my products that were not making sales and kind of cranked up the volume on the ones that were making sales. So, and that definitely helped as I went on. It took me quite a while to kind of understand and get that down just because I didn't have a ton of time to research it because I was in the midst of my busy season. But all in all, I was really happy. I ended up bumping up the budget. I grew it gradually up to $39 a day at the end, which I should have been going harder on Etsy ads. I was spending a lot of my time last season on Facebook ads. And honestly, I should have been putting more into Etsy because I was doing really, really well on Etsy. And let's see, I think that came out to be, let's see where we were at for ROAS on that. It was about a 2.8 ROAS. So I would like to see that increase a little bit, but also I think next year it will after understanding the platform a little bit more and knowing how to run ads a little bit better. So I was really impressed with Etsy's ad platform just after running Facebook ads and Faire ads to see it set up a little bit differently and really user friendly. So that was super impressive to me. And yeah, I ended up making $4,249 from my ads. So pretty incredible. I, again, was really happy with the first 3 months on the Etsy platform. A few takeaways from selling on Etsy is that you find a different customer on every different platform that you're on. So my Faire customers are my absolute favorite customers. They are the easiest to work with, and I feel like I have the best relationships with them, and I feel like I really cater to them and kind of develop friendships with the people on the Faire app or the Faire website. And Shopify's been really good to me. With the business that I'm in, I don't really have returns. I probably had, in my Shopify side of it, I probably had 2 returns last year. And one of those was someone ordered a little too much product, so she just wanted to return some. And another one, she emailed me and said she wanted to return it before she even received it. So I wonder if it was a money issue that she maybe couldn't afford it and needed to send it back and get her money back, something like that, because she hadn't even received her product before she emailed me to return it. So I have a very, very, very low return rate on my Shopify store. And I will say that on Etsy, I could look this up, I'm not sure where it's at on my Etsy site or on the Etsy backend. It would take me a minute to find. But I would say I probably only had 3 or 4 returns on Etsy as well. I think about 3 or 4. It was still low, but they're just a little bit different customer. For instance, I feel like when you're on someone else's platform like Etsy, Amazon, the customer feels more entitled and more like they're in the driver's seat. So because they know that they can leave a bad review. So I think they feel protected because they can contact Etsy support and Etsy's probably going to side with them. They can leave a terrible review and just like really hurt you. So I feel like they feel like they're in the driver's seat and they're not quite as kind to me as my Shopify customers and my Faire customers. Maybe that's a way to put it. And that's not true across the board because I did have some very kind Etsy customers also. What I tried to do on Etsy, and I try to do this in Shopify too, I just have not had to do it very much. But on Etsy, I did find that I was going really, really above and beyond and trying to satisfy people. And luckily with my products and the business I'm in, I didn't have a ton of complaints. But for instance, someone ordered 6 of something that I sell. I felt like it was her fault that she didn't quite read the description quite right. She wanted to return all 6 of those and she wanted me to pay for a return label because she found some loophole that maybe I didn't describe something just completely accurate, So I did send her a return label. Again, I can't afford to send every single person a return label that complains and just, but I thought in the beginning, I need to just see what this Etsy customers are like and get a feel for it. And so I sent her a return label prepaid, and let's see, I had one customer get a package lost, and I ended up just refunding her for that. It was a Christmas season, and I felt better just refunding her for that. So I refunded her for that, kind of no questions asked. And she ended up receiving it. And she was very kind. She reached out to me and she's like, I love it. I want to pay for it because, I do love it and I want to keep it and I want you to know that I received it. And I ended up just letting her keep it free of charge. So just a few things that I ran into on the Etsy site. A few people who checked out and they would email me then and say, oh no, I forgot to change my shipping address. So I need to get used to checking messages on Etsy every single day, like right before shipping, so that I don't miss a message and ship someone's order out, because I did that twice. I didn't check a message and I shipped their order out to a wrong address. So just things like that that are a bit of a learning curve and just getting into the right habits on Etsy. I also found that I had people wanting to order my products for corporate gifts, which that was a new thing for me. So that was really interesting. I had someone order 7 things and kind of in a bundle that I already had, but she wanted them packaged so that she could just give them as a gift to employees. And it really got my mind going on what I can do to expand that market, because I think that could be a really big market, because she ordered, I can't remember if it was 5 or 7, something like that. And then she came back and ordered 17 more. So, and I didn't have a good way to package those items. And it's something that I had put on my list for the year and I did not get it done. And that is a high priority. So, I learned a lot, and I think there's a lot of ways to grow and expand on Etsy and to grow my business and maybe grow it even in a different way, the corporate gifts, stuff like that, that I had not even thought of as a possibility. So all in all, I loved my experience on Etsy, and I'm going to continue trying to grow that. I just am really trying to nurture good habits on there. Everyone that leaves a review, I respond to publicly, thank them, make it personalized. I'm just trying to go above and beyond and really keep those reviews good, keep people happy, and keep them coming back for more products. And I do feel like as my business grows into a year-round business, I think that Etsy is going to be a really great platform. The products that I sell are kind of hard to duplicate. It would take a little bit of work for someone to outright copy them. And that's a big reason I was staying off of Etsy and staying off of Amazon, because we ran into that in our home decor business a lot, that people would just completely rip off your product. And it was so frustrating and so heartbreaking. And so I was staying off of those platforms just to kind of stay under the radar. But the products that I offer are changing constantly. I offer a few evergreen products that, someone could rip off, but all in all, they're a little bit harder to duplicate. So yeah, that is my experience with Etsy. I was really happy with my first year, and especially for not really putting any work into it. I really did not put the work into it that I should have. I need to go into my store in this off season and really work on listings, work on pictures, work on, that kind of stuff. So lots of ways to grow and improve, but I just wanted to share my experience as a first-time Etsy seller. I hope this video helped you, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below.